He got it planned out.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
All
Ugh.
right, me and Joe are very excited. Joe, what are we talking about?
So today we're talking about probably like my like God, it might be my number one favorite like TV series like that I've ever watched, and that's The Good Place.
It is so Joe's been recommending me this, and
For about a year now, I think.
for a little while. And
Yeah.
I always throw my friends bones. I give them a lot of suggestions because I generally play and watch and view more things than my friends do. So whenever they got a suggestion for me, I try to stick with it, which is why I'm forever in the wormhole. Um,
Mhm.
but this is Joe's been getting his turn lately, where I finally got around to starting it. The thing with Good Place is I knew the season one twist, which I won't say right now what it is. But I knew that before even starting. So I told Joe, like, I'm unsure if this show is really gonna wow me because I don't know how much it's relying on that twist. Needless to say, it didn't matter that I knew that twist. This
Yeah,
show
I
is
won't
incredible.
it does not matter you know that twist. It really doesn't because the show builds on its own.
It really doesn't because this show breaks itself at every possible turn to further explore some really unique themes and storytelling. Uh, The Good Place, I've watched 2 seasons now. Season 3 came out on Netflix tonight, so guess what I'm fucking doing, boys? Right after this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what happens. It's a show that is a comedy that has drama level twists, basically.
Hmm.
Um, and fantastic character writing. It's the core strength of the show, and I've said it on the podcast and to you guys. Good character writing is the easiest way to get into my heart. It is my number one favorite thing in storytelling, and The Good Place has that. It's avoiding this problem despite the premise, I guess, of the show. It's avoiding this problem of having the main characters just be assholes. I don't like a show where everyone's an asshole. And in here, it's like everyone is just so incredibly human.
Hmm. And oh, so we'll have to discuss this on when we finish season three and we go into our in-depth talk about it. But the show does a really good job, especially in season one, of showing you like of really taking the expectations you have and really turning them on their heads, especially for the characters of the people. Because by the end of season one, you begin to realize like, oh, these people are awful, like just bad people.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, sorry,
Eleanor is,
they are very flawed.
yeah, Eleanor is problematic,
Yeah.
but I love her so dearly.
And then the show also has Michael and Janet.
Who are some of the most interesting characters maybe ever written. Like, no joke. I was talking to Joe about it yesterday because it dawned on me. I don't think I can think of a single character like Janet from this show.
Yeah.
She's
And
immensely interesting, and Michael is maybe the driving force of, I think, some of the show's strongest themes.
the show really is like, so season one is very much about Eleanor, I feel. Season two is much more about Michael
Michael
and like
and
just
Janet.
developing his character more and like of him like it's such an interesting dynamic in a kind of like existential thought process because you have all these like Janet is this super powerful being, but
She's
her arc that
subservient to other beings,
yeah.
and her arc is just building on that in a direction where, like, nothing like this has really been done.
And it really like thinks about like where like if you have these ultra powerful beings but you introduce this really human element to them, how does that affect their thinking process and what's it like for them to not have that human element in them?
Yeah.
And it's just it's so good, and season three does that even more.
I can't
And
believe it, Joe. I can't believe you.
Like it's oh my god, like season 3 there are moments where I was just like I can't live on if this show ends. Like I don't have an ending.
Oh
Like
no.
like so thinking about the show, it's 3 seasons are out. They're all on Netflix. Season 4 is coming out on my birthday in a month.
Are we gonna be together?
We'll be in Disney World.
Joe. Joe, we can watch it together.
We could.
I can find my pirate ways to find it. Don't worry about it. We'll
I
talk
have
later.
Hulu. It'll show up on Hulu the next day or whatever.
Oh really? Oh fuck
Yeah,
it. I also have Hulu. We'll do it legally.
yeah.
Yeah.
But season 4 is the final season of the show, and when you get to and at the end of season 3, it's a perfect ending to it because it really comes full circle. And
Really?
yes, like I'm so excited for
Oh,
season
stop
4.
hyping me up, you little whore. You know I'm already in there. You basic, Joe.
I know you basic.
Oh man. Let's talk about the humor a little bit cuz the visual gags in this show are we're talking like cartoon level gags that are funnier than they could ever be in a cartoon because they're done in live action in such a funny way. It's
And
really hard to
I
explain.
I didn't realize this until like I just not thought about it, but the CGI in the show is like perfect in terms of what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's terrible in just the right way.
Yeah.
Um, there's just a scene where Janet is talking and a giant like sub falls, and I'm talking about like the sandwich sub, and that sounds like super random, but like it's just so fucking funny in the moment. And all the little dialogue choices, like how they can't swear and they gotta say fork instead of fuck, it's
Hmm.
just so endearing. All I love all the characters except Jason, but even then, Jason has hilarious lines here and there. Uh, oh man, I
But the other thing is like they also do a really good job. Like there's one that's the trolley episode in season 2
yeah, that one's so good.
that kind of takes apart like of how ridiculous that whole conundrum is if you really act it out, and it's so great.
And then thematically, it extends on even.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing we haven't mentioned about this show is that it's thematically linked to moral relativism and just
Mhm.
morality as a whole. Where one of the characters is an ethics professor and he's integral to the plot of the show. Like a lot of the plot revolves around him, and what he can provide to the group. And so you have a lot of episodes touching on ethics and different theology or sorry different ideologies of ethics and kind of using that to explore the characters in a different way, not to
Mhm.
mention all the other aspects in which the show breaks itself and lets you see these characters in ways that no other show could ever show you the same character. Like we see so many sides of the characters of Eleanor and Tahani and Jason and Michael, and it's only possible because of how this show is uniquely telling its story. So like there is some master level genius shit going on here.
Yeah, like it's mind-boggling to me like how well written this show
The
is.
the more you think about it, the better it gets.
And it's a show that has a lot of heart, and it feels like it's a show that really is like Willer said, I mentioned before, like this is a show, the way it's presenting is the only way I think it could tell what it's trying to say.
And I think that's a really big plus to any story. Like I think that gives you a huge bonus point in my book.
I also realized we never actually talked about what the good place was plot wise.
Should we? I
Yeah.
we should talk about yeah, the premise.
At least season okay, so the premise of the show is basically Eleanor is
Eleanor.
yeah, is a very flawed human being. She dies, and through to the best way to describe it, in
A mix
clerical
up.
error on
Yes.
like
On Afterlife's part.
yes, she ends up going to the good place rather than the bad place where she belongs.
And
So now
so the
she
way
has
it works is the good place has a very small section of humans that did everything really well, and everyone else ends up in the bad place.
yes, and like you're determined by like a point system that no one really knows how it operates, and like but you're just basically told like this is where all the good people go, and Eleanor has to try to blend in with everyone and really learn about what it means to be a good person.
But the problem is, by just her being in this good place, problems arise just from the universe kind of collapsing on itself, and
Hmm.
that's where the story kind of takes off from. The other main characters are Chidi, the ethics professor, probably my favorite character. He cracks me up so much.
Hmm.
You got Tahani, who is a self-absorbed babe. You got Jason, who's a dummy, and you
So
got Michael.
Jason's a monk. What are you talking about?
Yes, Jason's a monk. Yep, yep. And then you got Michael and Janet and a couple of other auxiliary characters. Pretty
Mhm.
small core group, but it has to be this way because of how much they're exploring each character.
Yeah, it's just so good, and it's so hard because like we could discuss like the because really the meat of the show,
We can't talk about the meat of the show without big spoils.
yeah, and because I feel like this really was generally like they were like, all right, this is a show. Season one's going to be this, so that season two is this because you need season one to be this way for season two to
So
have
then
it.
season three can be this.
Yeah,
By the way, they do like 100 seasons in one episode. It's fucking wild.
yeah, like because that was one of the like craziest things to
That
me. I was
was
like, oh
insane.
yeah, I was like, oh, I get what like the show's going to be about. Every season's of Reese like a thing, and but then like they're like, no, no, no. We're like, oh,
Fuck
I,
you. How dare you predict
yeah.
anything?
Like I literally was like, I don't know where the show's going now.
I don't even care, man. I'm just along for the ride. I
Yeah.
had a theory of season two, and I was like, Joe, this is what's gonna happen, and I was super wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I would have been actually upset if that was what in the season two was.
I could have lived with it. It was just way better what we did get.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Bradley, please watch the first few episodes of this. They're only 20-minute episodes, and there's only 13 per season. It's a
I
good
mean, I will
time.
watch it after the
Hundreds of other
billion
things.
other
Yeah.
shows.
Well, I need Bradley to watch Barry for me.
Yeah, that's the next show I'm going to be watching
Fine,
when I
I'll watch
eventually decide to watch TV again.
Bradley. Let's watch Barry together. It'll be a fresh, new, exciting experience.
Y'all live next to each other now, so you can do it
It's
from
true.
comfort of couches.
Yes, from my couch and Bradley's couch, I'll leave the window open,
You can shout at each
and
other.
we start at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's good for the good place. But man, I
Ugh.
am. This is a top five show for me right now
Yeah.
already.
I will. I think we'll come back to it after you finish season three, and we'll have a more in-depth spoiler discussion about it because the show is so worth picking apart. But I really don't want to like discuss it without
Oh,
spoiling.
Joe, I got fat notes. I've been taking
Yeah.
notes as I'm watching. I'm gonna parse them down into coherent thoughts because there's so much.
By
Uh,
the way, this is the only TV show that I have watched front and back like 4 or 5 times.
damn. I mean, it's such a pleasant watch. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really
It flies
easy to
by.
sit down and yeah. The pacing is super fast, but like not too fast where you're losing out on anything.
Every episode feels very purposeful, which I really like.
This show is sitting right now. Like we're talking like there's Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul sharing their number one spots. You got Parks and Rec, then you got this show with
Yeah.
with the full intent of taking over Parks and Rec at this point.
Yeah, like it might do the same for me. It's oof.
Oof.
All right.
All right, that's the good place. Please go watch it if you have Netflix or Hulu or pirating. But don't do that because that'll send you to the bad place.
Please support, even though like I'm happy the show is ending, like it's getting a finale. But please support the creators because I would love if we got more television like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Also, Kristen Bell's a babe. I love her. I have a huge crush on her.
but Janet though.
But Janet, though, busty Alexa. But Tahani, though, the skyscraper beauty.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But Jason, though. All right, let's get out of here.
Do we want to do our hypothetical scenario before Joe GTFOs?
I guess we'll give Joe the night off. What are we going to call our portion of the cast? The Last Train Home cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right,
That'll fit the theme.
Bradley, take it away.
All right. So it's midnight. You're walking down an alley, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one around. It's really peaceful. You're having fun on your alley walk. And at the end of the alley, you see a bunch of figures kind of crowd around, and they're kind of making cute little noises.
They're small?
Yeah, as you get closer, you realize it is a squad of kung fu Jugons.
Oh god.
But then you see that they're not looking at you, they're looking past you. And back behind you, on the other end of the alley, is a squad of the Karoo duck
The spot-billed
thing.
ducks.
And these two squads of animals are about to have a war.
Are
And
they
kill
doing
each
like the West Side Story snaps towards each other?
Yeah, they're doing that, and they want to know which side that you side with because they're gonna fight to the death, and you have to pick a side.
Oh god.
So which side is gonna win?
I feel like the Jugons would just whoop the Ducks' butt.
Hell no, dude.
No.
It might depend on who trained them.
Nah, the ducks are plot relevant, so they're better. I'm Duck Squad.
Implying the Jugons aren't the most plot relevant characters
I'm
in all.
trying to hide that fact from you.
No, but like in all serious note, I think the Jugons could just whoop the Ducks' butt, the Ducks' ass. Like it's no question.
But
like,
they're so
Karoo's
fast.
a coward.
Karoo is not a coward.
Yeah, but yes, he is.
He's a good boy.
He's a weakling.
He fought Mr. 3 and Mr. 5 with Usopp and Luffy. He was super into it.
I don't know.
He's
I'm
not
glad
a
this
coward.
question sparked discussion.
He ran
Jugons
all the way
good.
to Alabarna to warn the
The
king.
Ducks beat up a fucking fish.
Also, hold up. Ducks and geese are the most asshole-ish, aggressive animals on the planet Earth. You really think they're not gonna fuck these kung fu dugongs up?
I'm saying they're gonna try. I'm also saying birds have very fragile bones.
Joe. You can't fucking beat a goose. You just can't.
You can't beat a kung fu seal lion or whatever it's
I'm
called.
talking in real life, a normal goose could kill us all. So you, so you really think these super ducks can't? Like you're
But they're
really
not
underselling them.
Geese, they're ducks.
Ducks could also kill us.
Nah.
They can
I'm
probably
going
use
with
Zeta
Seal.
Flare if
I'm
they
going with
really
the
need to.
Jugons.
All right, well you chose your side.
I didn't think that question would have even 10% of that
No,
debate.
Bradley, what side are you on? You gotta let us know.
I'd probably just lay down and let them kill me.
That's not even. They're not even angry at you. They're just trying to see what side you're on.
No, if you don't pick a side, it's like I don't know. They're like, if you're not with us, you're against us.
Man, in a couple of chapters, you'll know why you were wrong. You should have picked a side. All right,
geez.
Joe, get your butt out of here.
Yeah. All right. Have fun with Worm.
Oh, we will.
Good night, everyone.